Okay, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? So today we have a very interesting video that it is that we are going to be discussing. This has to do with understanding exactly what it is that is going on inside of your system and being able to trust that you are able to manifest, trust that you're able to create a life, have relationships, have financial freedom, etc. And all of these different wonderful aspects and wonderful parts of life, we're going to be discussing manifestation for these types of things and how a lot of people approach it from a space that is actually not helpful and that is not healthy. So we're going to be approaching this from the actual practical lens so that you can truly understand what is actually going on within the system at a nervous system level so that you can live the life that you deserve to live and that you truly want to live. Okay. I want you to really understand what it is that I'm talking about so you can understand what this process looks like so that as you move forward with your spiritual evolutionary journey and self development, you are understanding what is the most important thing to do and what it is that you need to acknowledge and honor inside of yourself. So if you want to learn about the truth of how manifestation actually operates and how it functions in its most practical and healthy way so that you're not approaching it from a space that is actually doing more damage to you, then this is definitely a video that I recommend that you stay tuned for, and I will simply see you on the other side. Okay, so as I was saying, in our today's video, we are talking about manifestation. And we're talking about the aspects of manifestation that are some of the most important things to understand when we look at this practice as a whole. So, the first place that I would really like to start with this video is giving a little bit of an explanation and a context to how most people approach manifestation as a whole. Okay. So what a lot of people do when they're getting into spiritual practices and when they're, going through a self-development process is they look at their life and they look at where they're at and then they decide that I am not content and I am not happy with where it is that I am at. So what I'm going to now do is I'm going to try to create things and I'm going to try to manifest things to try to make up and cover up this inner feeling of not being satisfied or not being exactly where it is that I truly want to be at an emotional, sensational level. So I can very much so understand why someone would want to change their life if they're not at a place that is where they truly want to be. But what's really most important to understand with this type of scenario is that when we look to manifestation and manifesting things, creating things physically, that is supposed to get us to a place that everything's going to change and we're going to then feel better. That is not the authentic and that is not the natural approach that it is that we are really needing and that we are really wanting to be taking. What we need to understand is we need to understand there is an internal process and there are aspects of us. There are parts of us, there are emotions and sensations, and even memories that we are needing to spend time with and be with and find acceptance with. And of course, we want to be able to create a healthy foundation that supports this whole process so that we can actually heal at that deeper internal level. So rather than trying to go out and create something or make something happen or manifest something, however you're approaching it, right? You might do some spiritual modalities of visualization. You might do a ritual. You might do something, and then you do the physical component where you're like working for it, trying to get it. We can approach it from that lens too. It's like working, working, working because you're saving up to do this certain thing that is then going to change your life or it's going to change the way that you feel, right? Rather than approaching it from that lens where we have to manifest these things in order for us to change, we need to actually understand that we need to go inwards and we need to be willing to face these aspects of ourselves that a lot of the times are going to be very uncomfortable to face. And as we're allowing ourselves to connect with the parts of us and the emotions and the sensations and the memories that are needing our attention, that is what is actually going to shift our life in the most powerful way. Because what we're doing is we are significantly changing our energetic resonance as we're going through the integration healing process, because we are clearing out the nervous system and we are changing the way in which the nervous system operates and how it functions, which then puts us into resonance with things that are outside of our nervous system and the environment, whether it's environments, relationships, circumstances, situations that are then going to reflect where our current resonance is at and help us to support the self development journey or the self development process. So basically what I'm saying here is when people approach, I need to manifest something. I'm trying to manifest this thing. I'm trying to manifest this relationship. I'm trying to manifest this house. I'm trying to manifest this job. I'm trying to manifest this money. I would say about 98% of the times, people are approaching this from the lens of actually bypassing and escaping themselves, looking for something to chase or looking for something to obtain in order to have an emotional shift or in order to have a state shift. When in reality, that would just be a projection of deeper trauma that truly is existing within the system that is really wanting to be faced and wanting to be embraced. But rather it's coming out in a way where we now have to do this thing and we have to obtain this thing or change this thing or manifest this thing in order for us to feel content or in order for us to feel approved of, to feel like we're in control and we're not going to be abandoned, to feel like we're happy and we're not sad, etc. We're doing these things oftentimes from an unconscious space of running away from the actual self. And that is not good and that is not healthy. But this is a part of the process and everyone does it. I am not separate from this. I have totally done this so many times in my life, and it is something that is not easy to fully become aware of, but it is absolutely so important to become aware of when we can. Okay. So, with that being said, what is also important to understand about this is another thing that I think is really important to understand on an educational basis. So, people might think, as I'm talking about this, they might think, well, if I'm not manifesting, actively trying to manifest these things like the nice house, the money, the relationship, the car, the whatever the hell it is, if I'm not actively trying to manifest these things, then how am I ever going to have these things in my life? How am I ever going to bring these things into my life and attract these things into my life? And my answer to that question is this. The first thing that you need to know is that your soul that exists inside of your physical body, which is connected to your higher self, has already embedded in it an energetic resonance of what you desire the most and what satisfies you the most. Have you ever heard someone say, that satisfied me on a soul level? It's because your soul carries that within its makeup. Your deepest desires at a soul level that is going to fill you up completely. It exists in you right now, and it is naturally a part of you. It is not something that you have to chase. It's not something that you have to go get. It's not something that you have to go after. It's something that you have to remember and open up and allow it to flow. Because then you start the process of actually attracting the things that you most desire at that soul level to you And all you have to do is work on your inner process. All you have to do is honor your intuition and honor emotional indications and body sensations and nurturing these wounded parts of you while following your intuition. So, of course, your intuition is going to lead you to do certain things. It might lead you to start a business. It might lead you to talk to this person. It might lead you to purchase this thing, right? We want to honor that. And as that's naturally happening and as you're honoring your own inner process, these things are natural. They are literally naturally happening. It is not something you have to control or do. It is going to flow through you on an energetic level. And you just have to follow through what is feeling right or what is feeling authentic in that moment. Sometimes that authentic feeling isn't always comfortable either. So it's not always choosing what feels the best or what feels the most comfortable at all times. It's being authentic to what feels right for that specific moment. And in many ways, there's like a gravitational pull that manifests itself to then move you in that direction that is most important for you. So with that being said, this is really important to understand because it wipes away the idea that I need to go out and manifest this thing. I need to go do this thing. I need to accomplish this thing. I need to do this to be something, to be worthy, to be worth something. Which, as I'm explaining it, hopefully you can see that there's a lot of trauma that often drives people to do those things. And the reality is people can go down that road and they can do those things. And people will walk that path and they will manifest a lot of things. But the thing that they're going to be lacking is they are inherently going to be lacking a deeper soul fulfillment because there are deeper wounded aspects and parts of the person that they are not giving time and attention to. And they're operating in some way to bypass that process by getting those things or by working for those things or trying to manifest what they're trying to manifest. So it's like you're trying to manifest a relationship in your life because you are not willing or able to go through the inner process of developing self love. So you're looking to externalize it by having a person to love you so that you can feel loved and you can get into that relationship. And then there's going to be a lot of triggers, and you're never going to get that deeper satisfaction of knowing I love myself and I can completely be myself. You're probably going to manifest a relationship that doesn't allow you to be the whole you because you're doing that to you looking for love rather than being like, this is who I am, this is what I am, and this is what's on the table. And if we resonate together and we connect and we have a loving experience together, then we can come into a partnership and we can completely be our authentic selves together and we can have a love for each other in that way. So, with that being said, when it comes to manifestation and you are honoring your intuition with the emotions and the sensations and your inner process, you are then going to manifest the things that you most desire at a soul level, which means you don't even always need to be aware of what those desires are or what those things are. They are already ingrained and embedded in your being. And this should relieve a lot of pressure and a lot of stress of thinking that I always need to be in control and I always need to know what it is that I want and what's going to make me feel better. It's already embedded within you. And it's about trusting the process of, most importantly, being with the wounded parts of you, the parts that feel the most uncomfortable, the parts of you that when you start to go into, it starts to dissolve your sense of self-identity, starts to dissolve your ego, which then gives you a sense of feeling like you're not in control. It's so healthy to be with those aspects and those parts of you and to nurture those and to integrate those and bring those into a space where there's more presence, where there's more safety, and trusting that as you're going through that process where it feels like you're losing things or it feels like you're not in control, it feels like everything's dissolving and you're not understanding who you are. It might feel like you're going to get abandoned. It might feel like you're not loved by anyone or could never be. It might feel like you are not worthy or you're a bad person. These are feelings connected to parts of self that want attention and acceptance. And the reality is most people don't endure and go through this process because of the uncomfort of it and the general lack of education there is on these types of processes in our today's time. So, once again, what I'm educating you on and I'm helping you to understand as the viewer of my channel who's watching this video is, and I will explain from personal experience how this is real. There is ingrained in your DNA, as I said, at a soul level, the things that you truly desire the most. And all that you're responsible for is your self love process and honoring the intuition and honoring those sensations and emotions. And you are naturally changing your energetic resonance to then put you into alignment, literally, to attract those things into your life, to literally start bringing in and attracting those things, relationships, experiences, environments, finances, etc. They naturally will come in as like a magnet pulls things towards it, like a strong magnetism. Your energetic resonance will do that naturally, and it will pull those things to you that your soul is needing in this lifetime to feel satisfied and to feel like there is a deeper process that is at play when it comes to healing and when it comes to integration. And that's what satisfaction is. When you start to manifest things that reflect the love that you've been giving yourself, and those things are also offering opportunities for soul growth at the same time. That is what soul satisfaction is. It is not, I have to manifest this job to make more money so that when I make more money and I get to this position where I'm financially free, then I can be happy. Then I can be satisfied with myself. Because you're going to end up getting to that point and you're still going to have circumstances and situations in your life that are consistently showing you that you are not whole and that you are not loving yourself completely because you're still in the energetic resonance for that. And it doesn't mean that you didn't work really hard to get financial freedom. And it doesn't mean that that's not a good thing. It can absolutely be a valuable thing because then maybe you can start realizing, wait, that wasn't what made me happy. And now I can sort of reverse engineer what it is that I need to. Sometimes it takes people to get to that point to learn those things. But overall, you get to that position where it's like, I'm still not happy because the resonance that I have is I'm still not completely accepting myself and these wounded parts of myself. So I have all these different things that are manifest in my life that are reflecting that and projecting that back to me that I am not loving myself. I'm not loving myself, even though I have all the finances. And that inherently is not going to feel good. It's going to feel like you just worked so hard to create so much, and that wasn't the answer to your problems. So we want to reverse engineer it and we want to connect more with the aspects of self that need your attention and need your acceptance and need your love and need your care and patience and consistency. And when you start to lean into that process and be with that and embrace that, now you're changing your energetic resonance. So you could go from a space where you have no money, you're not in a relationship, the environment you live in is not healthy. And as soon as you start the process of acknowledging these things as important, processing emotions, sensations, following intuition, accepting these wounded parts of yourself, letting them be, and being authentic to what you are feeling. When you start honoring that, that is what's changing your energetic resonance to start changing your environments, changing your relationships, changing what is going on in the world around you to put you in connection with what is going to continue nurturing your soul's development. And within time of doing that, once again, this is self-love. That is literally what self-love is. You are getting to a point where that self-love manifests itself externally. It then manifests itself in the world around you. And that is when you start to attract these really amazing and beautiful experiences to you that give you that feeling of core joy and core love. and it feels authentic, but then it also offers more soul development opportunity. And that's what's so satisfying. You start to attract opportunities to increase your finances naturally. They just literally come to you. Start to attract opportunities in situations and environments that continue to just reaffirm a sense of inner safety and a sense of health, a sense of love, right? Which is, the more you're loving yourself, the more freedom that you're creating for yourself. That's where financial freedom comes in. Finances flow to things that, want freedom and want that love. So, and same thing with like the relationships. Like you manifest a partner that is loving themselves and is willing to accept you for all of you, even when you're not at your best state, even when you're not feeling the best. You've then manifested someone that understands the process of self love and they still love you in the midst of you not feeling so well and not being able to show up in a certain type of way. There's no like expectations or huge conditions that you're placing on each other, but you're able to work together as a partnership and heal together and operate in a cooperation together and support each other, right? Your environments, once again, they shift. They start reflecting healthier environments, probably environments that are a little bit more, you know, nature based, whether it's tropical or whether you're in the woods. You start to manifest probably a lot of family energy of families taking care of children because that's, a safe, nurturing energy there. You're no longer attracting all these homeless people and, these gangbangers or, people that are just, not good, not the healthiest people for where they're at. Right. So, this is what is so important to understand. Don't worry about manifesting the thing. Don't worry about, I need the thing to then feel better. Don't worry about putting your time and energy, pushing your focus into those things. Realize everything you truly desire and everything you want starts with the internal process of accepting yourself and going through the uncomfortable feelings and emotions and sensations and memories that are needing to be healed and integrated. And trust. This is like the key message here. Trust that the things that you want the most and that you need the most naturally will start to be attracted to you, while the things that are not supposed to be in your life and are not meant to be there will literally leave your life. You have to trust that ebb and flow of energy there. And you also have to trust your nervous system. Okay. You have to trust the different parts of yourself and be willing to fluctuate between different emotional states. Be willing to let go of certain identifications or ego attachments of who you think you are and what you think you are. Be willing to flow back and forth like the ocean, like a wave. Be willing to follow that gravitational pull that pulls you into what is most authentic for you in that moment, and realize that authenticity changes. It is not fixated. There is not just like one authentic aspect of you and then the others aren't. You flow with authenticity. One day you're feeling really heavy, you're feeling really sad, you have a lot of grief inside of your system. The next day you're feeling really uplifted and you're feeling lighthearted and you're feeling like very social. Okay, these things can ebb and they can flow as you're going through this process. And these are signs that you're healing these wounded parts of you that are often connected to that inner child. So trust that you can honor your inner process and you don't need to worry about going and getting that certain thing or making that certain thing happen and manifesting the life that you want, because if you don't, you're not going to be able to live it. I'm a testament to this. I spent my entire life literally for the past 20 years, longer actually, but definitely for the past 20 years, I was in a position where I am working, trying to create, trying to make happen, trying to manifest the thing, trying to have this thing that is then going to make me feel good once I have the thing or once I do the thing. Then I can change, then I can shift. When in reality, that was never the case. And I took that path as far as I could take it. And I achieved so many things just to realize that wasn't it. And then it had to become something else. And it was just all this continual process of like, that's not what made me happy. So then let me try this thing. Get that thing. That's not what made me happy. Let me try this thing. And I did that so many times to then realize I'm not going to be happy that way. And I was starting to question, like, what is even happiness? Is that even a thing? Do you just have to kind of like cut the self off from even experiencing that and just conquer life and just not think about it? But thankfully, I was more sensitive and I realized there was a deeper inner process that it was that was needing to occur in my system. And I gave myself that opportunity to start going into those deeper feelings, those deeper emotions. And it started slowly with me working on my foundation. Unhealthy coping mechanisms was a big thing that was holding me back. Toxic relationships with environments. At the time, I was living with my father, and he was very narcissistic. And I was living in the basement, and that was just a very unhealthy environment. And then a lot of my friends at that time were also narcissistic in their behavior patterns. So I had to create boundaries with those as well. And then I ended up moving states. So I went from Maryland to Florida to basically hit a restart on my life. This was me working on my foundation, which started me slowly becoming aware of emotions and sensations and these past parts of myself that were starting to come through my nervous system and show me memories and show me things that I needed to see. And over time, as I was noticing these things happening in my system, which I was not always conscious of, I was developing more and more understanding and acceptance for these parts of myself, realizing these are important. These are valuable parts of myself that just need my love. They need my attention. They just need acceptance and time to heal. So as that was going on, um, I was healing drastically, and I started to realize that I didn't need to push and push and push for all of these things that I was trying to manifest if it wasn't authentic. Now, if I'm tuned into my body and I have a connection to my intuition, and my intuition says, hey, let's do this thing where we have energy to do this and we have the emotions to drive it, that's being authentic. And that's manifesting from a space of authenticity and being with that. But I'm not doing that at the cost of how I'm actually feeling. I'm honoring what I'm truly feeling and going with the ebbs and flows of what life has to offer. And once again, that is the healthiest approach. And it puts you in a position where you do have to let go of being in control of always thinking, I need this thing, or I need to do this thing, or this is what has to happen, or I need to be this certain way all the time in order to get there. It allows you to let go of that control and just be what you are in that moment, which drastically starts the process of really healing your nervous system, which drastically changes your energetic resonance, which then drastically starts to put you in situations and experiences where then you can manifest by just pulling to you the things that are in your best interest and the things that you are satisfied with at that deeper soul level. You just naturally start attracting these things in a much more powerful way. And you're not trying to push to go get it. It just comes to you because you are loving yourself by being willing to be with you. And you have enough of a trust that that's what's most important. And then the universe shows you that. The universe nurtures that. You are the universe. You are all people. There is an aspect of you in every other person and every other thing you interact with. And when you're loving yourself, you are resonating at that level to bring those things to you because it's starting with what is happening through you. It's one of the most powerful things for people to really acknowledge and to really take advantage of. So, this was the message that it was that I really wanted to communicate in this today's video. I have to wrap it up soon. I have a mentorship call literally like coming up right up. So with that being said, hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed this video. If you got value from it, definitely hit that thumbs up. Drop down into the comment section and let me know exactly how this video influenced you. I want to hear your thoughts on it and I want to hear your perspective on the importance of manifestation. Okay, and how important it is to understand what is necessary when it comes to manifestation in regards to honoring the self, that process. Hit the notification bell, get notified whenever I post these videos. You don't want to miss out. Subscribe to my YouTube channel because by subscribing, there's a further energetic connection. Also, copy and paste this link and send it to someone that you feel like will gain value from it. I encourage you to do that deeply. Okay. Now, I'm going to take your awareness to literally the most important link within the entire description itself. This is my Patreon. And on my Patreon, I have an entire vault of exclusive content. None of it is on my public channel, and that is for many intentional reasons. There's over 900 active members that are currently a part of the Patreon, and that alone speaks for itself. Okay, 260 plus videos exclusive to Patreon members, everything from occult education, initiation education with the Kabbalistic tree, ritualistic practices that I perform on camera and then show you how to do yourself, all the way from different forms of psychic warfare to cutting cords with certain people that you need to kind of separate with in your life. All of these different types of things. Education on nervous system regulation, education on trauma and what role trauma plays in regards to the self-development process as well as spiritual development. Okay. All of this stuff is over on the Patreon. So definitely check it out. Tier number 3 and 4 gives you access to something extremely unique. And this is a ritualistic service. That is the only ritual that I perform for my collective consciousness. First and foremost, it's not for everyone. This is a deep process of transformation that people are taking advantage of by being a part of this ritualistic service. So if you are willing to do that deeper work and process these deeper repressed aspects of self and repress negative emotions and integrate them in a healthy way, and also if you are in resonance with some of these darker aspects of soul development and spiritual evolution, then definitely I would recommend this ritualistic service for you because I think that there could absolutely be a lot of value in that. Okay. And it is an energetic transfer from me to you as the participant to support you through that process, going into the deepest aspects of your own shadow and your own unconscious to help you navigate with working with those. And it sets you up energetically to be a lot more magnetic and help you to integrate darker energies and more negatively charged energies, as well as chaos, patterns that we don't fully understand yet, that are unknown to us. And that absolutely serves the self-development process. So if you want to take advantage of it, definitely look into it. There are over 350 active members that are taking place in this ritualistic service every single month. So definitely consider it. Definitely look into it. Once again, this is all going to be at that first link in the YouTube video description if you're interested. We'll leave it there. Second link is where you can book the mentorships with me. It's also where you can book a one-on-one call. So if that's something that you're also interested in, definitely look into it. Mentorships are the most powerful and intimate ways to personally work with me. And right now, my schedule is basically completely full with these mentorships. So if it's something that you're interested in, definitely consider it. Okay. Also, in the same second link, you can book a tarot card reading with Alexia. And she's a very gifted tarot card reader that can help you understand what's going on internally in your present moment, as well as what to expect moving into the near future and connect it back to the Kabbalistic tree too. Okay, so if you want to book, second link with her. Third link is a LUCIFERS Foundation course, which is an extremely powerful course to really develop yourself with this energy of Lucifer. 11 modules that you'll have access to for the rest of your life. So if you're interested, definitely check that out. Third link. Fourth link is the YouTube membership. I would love to have you a part of the family because this is a big community that literally becomes like a family. So if you want to join the Universal Mastery family, I would love to have you. And that's that fourth link below. And then the fifth link is going to be my book recommendations for you on everything fundamental when it comes to occultism, initiation, spirits, etc. I highly recommend you purchase this 4 ebook bundle if you are getting into some of these deeper practices with occultism and spirituality. Once again, that is the fifth link below. So that's where I'm going to wrap it up. With this being said, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you all have an amazing rest of the day or night, wherever you are, and I will see you on the next video. Peace.